Good evening, I'm Ivana Smith. Late on the night of March 1st, at exactly 11:03 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 United States Air Force F-15E Strike Eagles were shot down over Kuwait by a Kuwaiti Patriot missile battery in what has been confirmed as a friendly fire incident. This happened right in the middle of Operation Epic Fury, the ongoing coalition campaign against Iran. The single most important thing to know right away is that all 6 aircrew members survived. Every single one of them ejected safely, 3 pilots and 3 weapon systems officers. No American lives were lost. All 6 personnel are alive and recovering. Since this went down over Kuwait, which is firmly in the friendly camp, getting them back to base was straightforward. The jets themselves are a total loss, but that is honestly the least of our concerns right now. The United States has plenty of Strike Eagles in the inventory, and on top of that, the next generation F-15EX is already rolling off the production line. Replacement aircraft can be flown into the theater within hours. Within a few days, those same crews could realistically be back in the cockpit and flying combat missions again. Hardware can be replaced. People cannot. That is what matters here. After reviewing the videos circulating on social media, a few things stand out clearly. The Patriot missile impacted the rear section of the aircraft, which immediately destroyed both engines and sent the jets into an uncontrolled tumble. What is actually worth noting here is where the missile did not hit. Some surface-to-air missile systems are designed to bias toward the front of the aircraft, which would have shredded the cockpit and likely killed the crew on impact. The Patriot did not do that. It struck the back end, and while the jets were lost instantly, it gave the aircrew just enough time to punch out. You can see the parachutes in the footage. That is not luck. That is engineering. And in a tragic situation like this, it absolutely saved lives. Looking at the aircraft in the video, there are no external fuel tanks or weapons visible hanging off the wings. On the F-15E, drop tanks are practically mandatory for long-range strike missions into Iran. No tanks, no bombs. To me, that tells a story. These crews had already completed their mission. They dropped their ordnance on target, punched off their tanks somewhere over Iranian airspace, and were coming home. Getting shot down by your own side on the way back from a successful combat mission is about as gut-wrenching as it gets. The weapon that brought down these 3 Strike Eagles was the MIM-104 Patriot PAC-3, the same upgraded variant Kuwait acquired and improved in 2025 with better guidance and enhanced anti-jamming capability. Under normal conditions, this system is extraordinarily effective at distinguishing friendly aircraft from hostile threats. It uses a phased array radar capable of tracking hundreds of targets simultaneously, IFF transponder interrogation to verify electronic identity codes, flight profile analysis, and integration with Link 16, which is the real-time data network that gives operators a shared picture of the entire battle space. The IFF system, which stands for Identification Friend or Foe, is what should have prevented this. In combat operations, pilots use what is called Mode 4, an encrypted transponder code that identifies them as friendly to allied radar systems. These codes have to be updated roughly every 24 hours. If those codes were out of sync, the F-15Es could have appeared on the Patriot radar scope as unidentified contacts rather than confirmed friendlies. There is also the possibility of operator override. A radar operator, overwhelmed by the sheer number of contacts on their screen, may have made a split-second judgment call. If they saw 3 tracks coming in from the direction of Iran at high speed during an active Iranian drone and missile attack, the instinct to engage might have overridden the data in front of them. That will all come out in the investigation. The F-15E is also a 4th-generation non-stealth fighter, meaning it has a significantly larger radar cross-section than something like the F-35. It shows up big and clear on a radar scope. 3 of them flying in tight formation would look like one massive return, which in the middle of a drone swarm could easily be misread as a threat. Iran did not shoot down these aircraft. Let me be very clear about that. Their best long-range air defense system, the Bavar 373, has a maximum engagement range of somewhere between 125 and 186 miles. Kuwait sits roughly 500 to 620 miles from Iran's western border. The physics simply do not work. Iran's leadership claimed credit anyway, which is exactly what you would expect, but it holds no water. What Iran did do, however, is create the exact conditions that made this tragedy possible. Their strategy right now is deliberate saturation. They have been firing hundreds of ballistic missiles and launching wave after wave of Shahed drones at targets across the region, hitting Israel, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and coalition bases throughout the Gulf. This is not random. This is a calculated effort to flood Allied radar systems with so many contacts that operators become overwhelmed, reaction times compress, and mistakes happen. They want the radars jammed. They want the screens cluttered. And in this case, that strategy contributed to 3 F-15Es getting hit by the very system that was supposed to protect them. Several immediate fixes need to happen to prevent this from occurring again. The IFF protocols need to be airtight. Every aircraft in the theater needs to be transmitting current, verified codes at all times, and every missile battery operator needs to be working off confirmed, up-to-date identification data. No exceptions. Link 16 integration has to be ironclad. Every Patriot battery, every fighter in the air, every command node needs to be sharing the same real-time picture. If a friendly aircraft is on that network, it should be impossible for a Patriot operator to mistake it for a hostile. Dedicated return corridors need to be established. F-15Es coming back from Iran should not be flying a profile that overlaps with the flight paths of inbound Shahed drones. Separate lanes, separate altitudes, clear deconfliction. And critically, the drone swarms need to be degraded more aggressively before they saturate the radar environment. High-powered microwave systems, directed energy weapons, whatever it takes to thin out those Shahed waves before they cloud the picture for every operator in the region. This is painful, but it is a tactical error in the middle of a strategically winning campaign. American air power owns this theater. The IRGC headquarters has been destroyed. Iran's air force has taken repeated hits on the ground. Iran is leaning on its ballistic missiles and drone swarms because it has run out of better options. Kuwait owned the mistake immediately and expressed regret. That matters. Alliances survive errors when partners are honest about them. A joint investigation is already underway, and the findings will drive tighter protocols across the entire coalition. 6 aircrew are alive. The alliance is intact. The mission continues. That is what counts.